Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Finance Committee meeting and public hearing for Thursday, March 12th. I'm calling the meeting to order. If you can, please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, everybody. The approval of the minutes, again, because we got home late last night and I got home from work at like 5:30. I did not email them. I apologize. So they will likely show up again next week, maybe with some more that Dolores prepares for us. So we're going to move the old business I'm hoping to have on the agenda one night next week to talk about the Collins report, right? We will move to item 5 on the agenda, to the public hearings for the May 4th annual town meeting and the May 4th special town meeting. Could I get a motion to open the motion to open the public hearings for the annual and special town meeting made by Joel, second by Heidi?
I was going to say I moved to open the public hearings for the May 4th annual town meeting.
All right, well, I want to do that one first. All right. So we have a motion to open the public hearings for the May 4th annual town meeting. And it's been seconded by Heidi, made by Joel. So if anyone's wondering why I keep repeating them, it's so when Dolores is doing the minutes, she's clear, because sometimes she can't always see who's speaking. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Anyone abstain?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearings for the May 4th special town meeting.
I have a second. Marty? Marty second that. Joel made the motion to open the public hearings for the May 4th special town meeting. And Marty second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? So both public hearings are open. We will start with the annual town meeting. There are a couple of items, just so that people know, there were a couple of items on the agenda that were also listed again. Also on last night, like some of the articles. They were repeated in case there's ever an issue with bond counsel and notice. I will allow anyone that wants to make comments on those articles to make comments, but we're not necessarily going to have presentations on those articles because we heard about them last night. All right. So Article 12, start with the town manager budget. And Tom, if you want to introduce who's ever with you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just an announcement, Biz had to go home early today due to an illness in her family with her mother. So the three of us will do our very best to answer any deep questions. And what we can't answer that only Biz would have, we'll follow up with you in writing tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
The town manager's budget, page 10, is very, very similar to the last 2 or 3 years. Some highlights. Under personal services, the increase is 1.5%. The expenses, 2.2%. 5.52% with a bottom line budget of 2.22%. 2 items I'd like to point out to bring to your attention are the items that went up significantly. The first item under expenses, which went up 20%, the in-service training. And that is footnoted as number 2. And the in-service training it reflects our continued commitment to train people across the town in professional development in their particular areas of expertise, particularly in assessing, in treasury, and in procurement and the like. Very little training was done for many years, and we're trying to catch up in all of those areas. The second area of significant growth is in 33.33%, which is events. We hold a lot of information sessions where we'll serve coffee or light Danish or the like. As you know, we had an event at the community center 2 weeks ago. Those refreshments were paid for by those events. So not a lot of money, but a significant percentage increase. The bottom line for the budget is 2.2%, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Open it up to members of the committee. Anyone have questions? Joel?
Yeah, just a quick clarification. The executive assistant to the town manager, that's Gilda, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you're not getting paid nearly enough, so
Gilda?
you're not getting paid nearly enough.
Oh, I'm just fine, but
You're
thank
just
you,
a
Joel.
bargain. What can I tell you?
Thank you.
It's
Compared to the
all right.
market, no, I've taken a 2.5 every year that the town has taken a 2.5, but I do have incentive compensation that if I meet specific goals or objectives set down by the board, then I achieve those. So I do pretty well in incentive bonuses, but thank you.
Who's the communications coordinator?
Kelsey, she's right in that office here.
Oh,
She,
that's who she is.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel.
Could you, just for people that are also listening, could you just explain what positions are covered under your budget, the town
Certainly.
manager's budget?
Certainly the department head, the executive assistant, who is Gilda, the assistant to the select board. His name is Leo. He sits right across from Gilda. The assistant town manager is the stipend we give to Mark for his role as assistant town manager. And just to speak to that for a second, it's pretty clear in the organization of the town meeting warrant and in the organization, which is not my strength, of everything we do in the budget area, that Mark is far exceeding our expectations of him with respect to being an assistant town
Oh,
manager.
I definitely have to agree with that because I don't think we wouldn't have had books printed for the warrants without him.
Oh, thank you.
We wouldn't have anything if left to me.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. And when I screw it up, it'll be all my fault. So
We're waiting for that moment. The select board minutes, as you know, is done by Dolores. The communications coordinator is Kelsey in that office here. She manages all Facebook activities, press releases, writing up letters to the town that for all of us on staff. And I think that's it. That's the stuff.
I just have a question. Why would the select board minutes be in your budget and not the select board's budget?
It should be in the select board's budget. It just has always been there. And
Probably because the town manager's the one that makes sure they happen.
Gilda makes sure they happen. She
All right,
reports.
the town manager's office.
Yes. He reports into Gilda, and she does
Okay.
a great job supervising.
Thank you. Any questions? I just have one more while we're here. When you talked about professional development, what offices are you providing professional development for?
It'd be the whole town except police, fire, and schools.
You do libraries covered under this too?
Sure.
All right, so just police, fire, and schools, public works?
Public Works, we've sent people to safety training and management training.
Right.
Um,
Because I just thought they also had professional development in their budgets.
They do, but this is not a lot of money. For instance, the one that I just had to cancel was $2,400.
Right, so,
for
okay,
3
so like,
days.
they're different, probably different types of trainings.
I would say the majority of it has gone to accounting, treasury, and assessing, especially assessing. The young man that started with us 2 years ago has now finished all of his credits, and July 1st will be a certified public assessor.
Oh,
He came here with no
congratulations.
assessing experience.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Laura?
So what did you say about DPW? Just thinking about when you've talked about trash and cross-training DPW workers, is that going to come from your budget or is
Thank-
that coming from DPW budget?
Thank you for raising that, Laura. DPW's budget is only safety. It's safety training, 40-hour, 24-hour OSHA training. The training I have in there for DPW is when we do the workforce training program, there are some people who are going to go to school. If a guy wants to be a welder, we'll send him to a week of school. If a guy wants to be a gal, wants to be the town painter of all the offices year round, we'll send them to a 30-day program just for becoming a professional painter. So it's not slopped all over the place. It's done well. That's not in the DPW budget.
So that would be in your budget.
That's correct.
So that's not in this year's budget.
It's in 2027, next year's budget.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Any other questions from members of the committee? open it up to members of the audience, members of the public. Anyone have any questions or comments or remarks they'd like to make on this budget?
I know.
Not seeing any, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is town council's budget.
With the exception, Madam Chair, of the contractual increases, we have a 3-year budget with them. The labor attorney,
What page?
it's on page 7. The first item, negotiations and arbitration. We pay Kate Fedoroff at an hourly rate of $195. And the second line item, which is consulting fees / legal, is the general Brian Winter annual lump sum fee and Jack Dolan's lump sum fee. Let me explain the difference. Brian handles all general legal affairs, everything across the board. Mark and I met with him this morning. No, I didn't get to this, matter of fact. It was on the warrant, the writing, the articles, the motions. He's working on a demolition project for the State Theater. He's working on the site assignment for the Board of Health for the wind waste facility. Has office hours here every Thursday and was the lead negotiator, in fact, the only negotiator in a very successful settlement on the SMAC conflict and with the town. So he is almost like an onboard town council involved with everything, and Kate is involved purely with labor issues, grievances, arbitration, mediation. We've got an arbitration and a mediation next week alone.
Who, that's Katie?
Kate,
So are they with the same firm?
same firm.
Okay.
Mr. Dolan is a labor attorney that is on a $2,000 a month retainer, including this number, for our human resource department. So matters that don't reach litigation or legal, if we're writing a letter of termination, a letter of progressive discipline, he will get involved. He'll look at the documents, he'll interview the people, and he'll craft the letters. He did one yesterday for the chief of police that changed the whole dynamic of the action. And he's on call every day and works for us probably 6 days, 7 days a month. So it's a great deal for us. Those are the legal fees.
All right. And I'll open up to questions from the committee. John? And Dennis?
So, Mr. Coulter, Mr. Coulter, you're saying this is a 3-year budget, 11%. Is that 3.66 every year, or is there like a 5% year and a 3% year? And
It was varied, John. It
Okay.
was a big increase the first year, a smaller increase the third year. It was progressive and it was market driven.
all right,
I'd say it's a little bit on the rich side, but we get every penny out of these attorneys that are on a fixed price.
I don't doubt that. It's just kind of curious. Like, well, we don't have a breakdown year to year. You tell me it's a 3-year budget. Like,
Right, this
is it a
is just,
stair 3.66 per year, or are we talking like 4 1 year, 3 year next, and so
this
forth?
is for FY27, that increase.
That's just it.
Yes, that's
All
it.
right.
Thank you, John.
So this increases for the 1 year. The
1 year.
contract with them is the 3 years. That spells out how they'll be paid each year, but this is only the allocation for next year.
I wish I said it that way, Carolyn.
Thank you.
This is the third year of a 3-year contract,
Okay.
and we're very satisfied
Yeah.
with their services.
Dennis?
Thank you. I just was wondering, is the monthly the fee that's built in, is that for a set number of hours, or is that
Un-
any call?
Dennis, the only thing we would pay extra for is if he had to try a case.
Yeah.
Then it's hourly.
That would be separate than
So
the,
no matter how much we use him, it's a set fee, or how little we use him, it's a set fee.
and is that set at the same hourly rate, the 195?
It's,
No, they give a lump sum based upon an assumption of number of hours. If we exceed it, it's still the lump sum. If we come in less, it's still the lump sum. We, every Thursday at that office right there, he's here for office hours. Gilda keeps a calendar. He's probably got 5 to 7 appointments by department heads every hour. We ask, because it's a lump sum, Dennis, we ask department heads, don't guess, call counsel. And Carolyn has a direct
Yeah.
line to
all right,
counsel.
I can as well if we have a question. If I have a
Paying him a
question,
lump
we can
sum,
talk.
let's get on. with
Dennis,
it.
I probably use them for at least 5 or 6 questions on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Not even the rest of the week.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very helpful. He's very good. He's very good, especially in my departments with land use, an expert in it. So he's been great.
And that's not even counting his criminal case.
I was being nice.
We cover his personal budget in the criminal. So.
Just remember, everybody, he opened the door. So
Yep.
This goes on all day, you know.
I know. Jonna?
Thank you, through you.
Please make sure everybody speaks. You may have to move the mic close to you to speak into it so that it really picks up your voices.
Is the lawyer available to FinCom members if they have questions?
Through
But-
the chair.
I mean,
Uh,
you can only go through the chair?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is then my next question, I guess, is can everything go through? I mean, or are there parameters in which, or they can determine if they don't want to do it? Or
The
not
only
ask the
parameter,
question?
Jonna, is that because there's so many, that the request, there's no boundary with respect to what you can ask for counsel on. That's a pretty wide berth. The only requirement is that you filter it through the chair, and then she will either speak with counsel or she'll delegate you to speak with counsel. If Carolyn approves it, then it's
Right.
it's
If
fine.
I think it's actually a legitimate counsel question,
It's up to
I
you.
would likely want to speak to counsel and I would invite the person if there was a question on it. If these are like more, in my opinion, what I will consider more weak or not really relevant types of legal questions to our business, then I probably will say no. I haven't been really asked, so I can't predict on how I will, but that would be my approach. I mean, members of the finance committee are not able to access town council without permission. I am. And if you really do have a question that you think you need a legal opinion on, and I agree with you, then we'll call.
Okay, then following up on that, what if you didn't think it was something that was important, but one of the members did? What protocols do they have, or what could they do?
Well,
Or is it just
You could
that's
bring it up at the meeting and we could talk about whether or not the committee felt that was the person's question was a legitimate question that needed to go to town council.
Okay, all right, thank
And
you.
if not, you can always, access your own attorneys as individuals.
Mhm. Thank you.
Incidentally, Madam Chair, that is also the protocol for department heads.
Mhm.
The same protocol.
Thank you. I will say, I do like that you have department heads meeting with town council before they make certain decisions, because I've often experienced, if you asked, you save us a lot of trouble in the long run.
And I would say to that, Carolyn, that's why Kate and Brian are such valued partners. Brian's on a lump sum. He would give advice 10 out of 10 times. Don't guess. Call me.
Mhm.
Kate, the same thing. Before I deal with a delicate HR issue, Kate will say, if you do it without me and you mess up, I'll try to get you out of it. But if you call me ahead of time, you won't mess up. And she's so right. They're truly great partners.
Very responsive too, if I could add. Very responsive.
Yeah.
Even to the point where if he can't get back to you right then, he'll text you, I can't get
So I
back to you
can't
now.
back you right
No,
now.
I will agree with that, because we had a question about bond counsel and notices for hearings, as I think I mentioned at the beginning of a couple weeks ago. So
And I'm
he's
not trying
addressing
to,
that.
I'm not trying to be flippant here. The best time to reach him when you want to talk to the person is between 7 and 9 in the morning. He's an early riser. He's always in his office. He'll always take your call.
Thank you. Any other questions from members of the committee? Any questions or comments from members of the public on the town council budget? Not seeing any, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the select board's budget, which is
Page 9.
page 9.
Madam Chair, although it's a 6% increase, it's only about $1,200 increase. Very little change, and the change is associated with inflationary costs on citations and printing, and down below the 20% increase is on awards. That's on plaques that we give to people who are retiring and things like that. The price has just skyrocketed. Not a lot of money, just a big percentage increase.
Okay. That looks like the town report printing went up significant.
It
Well,
did.
it went up to 4,500. That's is that the annual report that we get every year? at
Yes, it
Town
is.
meeting? So the town's required to do that by charter? Okay, any questions on the select board's budget? Becca?
Not a question, just more of a comment, just for everybody who is either watching at home or later on. The select board are all volunteers, so there's actually no payment to them in the budget. So while town staff do a great job, the select board also does a great job, and they don't get paid for it.
Okay, anyone else with questions, comments on the select board's budget? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments they'd like to make on the select board's budget? Not seeing any, we'll move on to the next item of the agenda, which is the Commission of Disabilities.
Page 58. One second to confer with Charlotte. Because the money wasn't used the year before, I'm sure that's why she reduced it. Oh, she did, I didn't know that. Yeah, we can always put it back up, because I didn't know my budget. But do you have that budget, do you have that budget with you right now? Could I just take a look at this? Just one second, Madam Moderator. It was only because you hadn't used it before.
Right.
But I can show you.
Goal is to go back up there. Okay.
I got that money in my budget.
Okay.
I'll just say we didn't use as much the year before, so we reduced it. But if you need work, if you need money, it's in my budget.
Okay.
Would you like to speak there, Cheryl?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm sure they believe you more than me. Madam Moderator, on the Commission on Disabilities, you can see a 50% reduction, and it was only based upon the run rate the year before. Charlotte and I have conferred about it because of the disability construction we're doing this year. We'll probably need that 7,000 as opposed to the 3,500, but I'm not going to ask you to increase it. I think we can cover that through DPW. So
Okay.
we'd ask for your support for this reduction in the budget. And Charlotte and I discussed it. We're in agreement.
Could you introduce Charlotte for the members of the committee in the audience who may not know Charlotte in her role?
Charlotte, say hello.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Mullen. I'm the chair of the Disabilities Commission.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I thought.
That's
it would be
okay.
Charlotte.
I know, but not, I'm not sure if everybody knows and if the audience knows, so. And if our viewers know. Are there's go ahead.
So Heidi, if this is for you or for Bid, on the bottom of page 58, it says Health and Human Services. So I don't know if that meant to be here.
It was the beginning of the next department.
Yeah, I think it's just,
It doesn't belong there.
it's the end of the section.
Yeah, I think you just explained it. That's a summary of all the departments in that category.
So looking at it on a computer.
We'll space it differently.
I guess other questions from members of the committee? Are the construction projects you're talking about the ones that we kind of approved last fall?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Thank you. Any members of the audience have any questions? Cynthia?
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. I appreciate that everything that Ms. Mullen has done, including these aren't perfect, but they're an improvement over what was available for those of us who are hearing impaired. But I wish there was more teeth in any recommendations they make. Until 6 years ago, I was not as handicapped as I am today. And as I go around town, I am so disappointed at how badly people with disabilities are treated, particularly in the town's two newest buildings. I mean, the high school and the library. I've almost quit going to the library. It's such a journey. If you've gone by, there's no ramp. That's not a ramp. That's a walkway. And instead of having railings on either side, as a ramp would, I had to go to the building meetings and campaign for a railing. One railing going up is fine, but coming down, I have nothing. I have to rely on someone else helping me. And whoever designed that ramp, I have to walk 3 to 4 times as far as someone who can take the stairs. So people say, well, go in the back of the building. Well, if next time you go to the library and you go in the back, there's no curb cut. The curb cut is at the handicap parking spot. I'm being dropped off by Dial-A-Bat, and that whole apron has no curb cut, no railing. I mean, it's like a big neon sign that says, you paid for it, Cynthia, but you ain't going to get access. And that's so unfair. Every time I try to get a little improvements, even something like a grab bar, it's, well, you have to talk to this person. They ignore the Commission on Disabilities completely. You got to talk to this person. I have talked until I'm blue in the face, just trying to get a grab bar so I can use a public bathroom. So much is unfair. And I appreciate everything that Ms. Mullen and the Commission has tried to do for those of us with disabilities, but I see such resistance, mainly because of the cost. Well, I pay taxes, and I've been paying taxes in my family since 1948. I think I've earned a little respect, and I think I've earned something as simple as a grab bar. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions from members of the audience on the Commission's, the Commission on Disabilities budget? Okay, not seeing any, thank you. We will move to the next item, which is the Historical Commission's budget.
Page 61, Madam Chair. Yeah, it hasn't changed. So, Madam Chair, we've maintained the budget, 0% growth. Although I will say that in past years, they have not even used that. So we are going to sit down and speak with them. Although it's only $800, we're going to ask them if they require or need a budget. And we'll address that before the next budget year.
Okay. Any questions from members of the committee on the Historical Commission budget? Can I ask what the wages would be for? I mean, part-time wages, the $500.
Just their minutes. Their minutes.
Thank you. Minutes.
Yes.
And the Historical Commission is not the same as the Historical Society.
Correct.
All right, anyone on the committee have any questions? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on the Historical Commission's budget, which for those who are not have it, the grand total is on the bottom line of $800. You don't need to spend hours of debate on it. No, I think we can all agree we do not need to. All right, let's move on to the next item on the budget, on the agenda, which is the Veterans Agent's budget.
Page 56, Madam Chair.
Page 56.
All you, Sharon.
Speak loudly. Good evening, Madam Chair and committee members. I'm Sharon Johnson, Program Administrator for Veteran Services. Our budget really hasn't changed much. We have an overall increase of 2.07, and that's inclusive of the new line that's down the bottom for events. There is a footnote. This piece of the budget has always been under the Recreation Department budget. We moved it to make it better transparency and so I could better manage it. Let's see, in 2025, we processed over $160,000 in veterans benefits through Chapter 115. This continues to go down every year with the decline in our veteran population, the elderly. We do still promote it. We know there's veterans out there and spouses that really are in need of it. So we're trying to do more outreach and more events. On the upside, with federal benefits, we've been able to move some of our Chapter 115 over to federal benefits because of the PACT Act and the HERO Act. So this decreased the money we're paying out because we only get 75% back from what we pay out in Chapter 115. Federal benefits, totally funded by the government. And I'm happy to report also that the recent numbers from the state showed that we've paid out $942,000 plus this in 2025 in benefits. So that went directly back into our Stoughton residents' pockets, tax-free. So on the report too, happy to say that we ranked number 3, the town of Stoughton, number 3 out of 27 cities and towns in Norfolk County. So we're doing good getting the word out there, getting the benefits out there, but we need to do more. We have 984 veterans, according to the census. We know there's more in the town of Stoughton. And out of that 984, there are 428 receiving benefits, almost 50%. So that's my budget in a nutshell. Pretty much the same. It's 2.07, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Members of the committee, anyone have questions on the budget? Joel?
Yes, thank you. First of all, as a veteran, I'd like to thank you for doing what you're doing. I've never really had to come for the town for benefits. I've gotten the federal ones, but that's fine. I think that's great. My question is under veterans agent, and maybe I asked this last year, it's the FTE is 0.55. So who are we talking about here? Tom?
That would be Brian. So Brian is the part-time veterans officer. He works 3 days a week. That's our half-time.
What does he do? Is he just part-time or is he sharing something?
He's a part-time. He is a certified veterans
Yeah,
agent.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we both do veterans claims, federal and state.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Members of the committee? Are any questions or comments from members of the audience? Cynthia?
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. Ms. Johnson, do you do any events in cooperation with the Council on Aging?
That's a great question, Cynthia. I have had conversations with them about doing coffee hours and also Recreation Department about doing some things with them that veterans can get involved in. They're looking for activities. We got to get them out of the house. So the Council on Aging is a great place to start. We did do some coffee hours before, but we had them at the Recreation Center. So we are looking at both places to try and do more.
Madam Chair, I'm from a veteran family. My brother currently is being treated for cancers as a result of Agent Orange and his exposure in Vietnam. My dad was a World War II vet, and he benefited from the Veterans Office on prior administrations. It is a little tricky because it's a male audience. When the Council on Aging advertises a luncheon, I'd say 95% of the people who sign up are women. Women tend to live longer. They have tried breakfast based breakfasts that aimed at men. They've had speakers come in, male speakers come in to talk about various things. And maybe if Ms. Johnson and Brian and Janine could put their heads together and come up with a couple of things. There's an enormous amount of exercise programs available. And you don't have to be, Mr. Universe to participate. And it might be that if they had some sort of exercise class aimed at older men, just like they have it for older women. I've been taking physical therapy down there, and it's really helped. But I think it's a little hard for guys to older guys to break into a group that's basically female. And that would be something that might work. I'm no expert. Obviously, Ms. Johnson's been doing this for years, but it is true. We want everyone in town to get out of the house and participate in something meaningful. Sitting and listening to someone talk about machinery at Public Works is probably interesting to some guys, but not only do we want them out of the house, we want them out of the chair or out of the Bacalanja or whatever it is they're using, just maybe one day a week. I know we get a great turnout for bingo. I don't know how many veterans are interested in bingo, but when I've gone through on a Tuesday, there's quite a few guys that come out for that. So I just think it's a place that we should let everyone, including veterans, know they're welcome.
Thank you. Natasha, if you want to come down, introduce yourself, grab a mic, just come right up to the table here, or that one.
I guess I'll just stand. Natasha, Precinct 2, along the same lines as my neighbor. I wonder what kind of outreach programs are available for children of veterans. A lot of times I'm currently navigating a situation. My mother is a veteran, and it is a very complex process to make sure that our parents are secure and safe. And we, not military people, don't even know how to protect them or get them the benefits that they're entitled to.
Thank you for that question. And that's what a lot of people don't realize too, is that there are programs out there for children of veterans, spouses of veterans, other family members, even caregiver programs. I would say if you know of anybody, definitely contact us. It's difficult to put out there in any type of a format, like an advertisement. There are a lot of very complex programs and require a lot of research too. But there are things out there for children of veterans. So please contact me.
And thank you. And I would just, follow up from, I know there was personal, my father was a veteran. When my mother was a widow, but she was able to, when she was sick towards the end of her life, was able to access some veterans benefits through him and through the veterans officer here at the time. So I do think so. If you're a widow or widower of a veteran, and you think you may need some help, please come down to see one of our veterans agents.
Yeah, most of our Chapter 115 recipients are widows, and they receive medical assistance, financial fuel assistance for heat. They don't know that that's out there, and it is, some have been on it for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And, they can get assistance. It's all means-based. It's based on finances. If an elderly person is basically living on Social Security with no other assets or very little other assets, they most likely qualify for some type of benefit through Chapter 115. Right. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Thank you. We will move on to the next item of the agenda of the budgets, which is the cable access budget. Page 85. Just so that people understand, the cable access budget is somewhat different from any other department. We don't really have, they're not really a town department. And I believe that, the plan is to kind of make sure that they're clear as a separate entity in the future. But right now, we're going to go review whatever the budget is here for their budget.
Madam Chair, if I
Page
may,
again.
just a point of, what page again? 85. Just by way of a point of information, I think you all know Steve Bates, Treasurer for SMAC. And on behalf of the Select Board, and I believe on behalf of the SMAC, I'm very pleased to announce that we've reached an agreement on two fronts, on the dismissal of the lawsuit and on the completion of a 10-year contract with SMAC. We're unable until it's codified by both parties to speak to the details tonight, so neither Steve or I will be doing that. But we're both very pleased that we were able to reach this accord and that horrible chapter is behind us. So with that, I'll turn
Thank
over to
you.
Mr. Bates.
I would just also let everyone know Anya, who is the program manager, she is sick today, so which is why she would normally be here to talk about the operation budget of the of SMAC, but that's why Steve Bates is here.
Madam Chair, as I said, on the advice of counsel, we really can't discuss
Right.
details, but we will be announcing at the next public hearing a statement from both SMAC and the Select Board with all the details we made public.
When is the public hearing?
It has been set. It was set last night.
26.
26th of
So that's 2 weeks from tonight here.
that's correct.
Yes, our
26th.
meeting has been moved or canceled.
Thanks, Steve.
Since I'm not sure we will fit into the room that is available, we will likely just cancel it. But that's actually a good idea. All right, we could do that. If we will talk about where we held our meeting, or if we hold our meeting like at another point, but that is a good idea. There's definitely gonna be no charge for us. We're gonna be voted on their budget. You would think, you know. All right, so back. So if you wanted to talk about the budget here,
Just quick,
if you could just speak, these mics, you really need to put them close to your mouth because they don't seem to always pick up everyone's voices in this room.
so SMAC is a private 501c3 corporation. It's made up of 5 board of directors, again, non-paid, 3 full-time employees, 1 part-time employees, and roughly 9 interns. And our budget went up 2.5%.
Thank you. And their funding, their funding comes from a certain fee paid by Verizon and Comcast to the town for the right to have their cable or FiOS or whatever we are calling it now, access to the town. So that money goes directly, it's basically the town's pass through. It goes from the town then passes it through to SMAC. Am I explaining that correctly?
Madam, one point that we are allowed to discuss is the plan for the future is to ask town meeting to dissolve the enterprise fund. The settlement agreement between SMAC and the town is clearly differentiating between the two entities, SMAC being an independent entity that makes its own decisions. They won't even be preparing a budget because they won't be an enterprise fund. They'll be reporting through the normal channels of a nonprofit.
Okay, thank you. Becca?
I don't see it in the budget, so unless I'm missing it. The SMAC truck, minivan that we see around town, there's more than one, and all of like camera equipment, is that owned by SMAC? Is that owned by the town? And do we have maintenance agreements on all those things?
The vehicle is owned by SMAC. It's paid for. It's maintained by SMAC. All the equipment is owned by SMAC, and we maintain the equipment, and we have service agreements, or warranties, I guess you'd say.
Are those agreements in the budget? I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
like pay as you go over the year.
It's
like, yearly contracts.
they last like 3 years.
I'm sorry?
The warranties last about 3 to 5 years.
Mark, then Joel.
Thank you. Through you, how much is in the actual enterprise fund right now?
This is it.
Is in the enterprise fund retained earnings is approximately $185,000. In the enterprise fund retained earnings is approximately $185,000.
Okay, thank you.
Joel?
I'm not sure I heard Becca's question entirely, but if you're talking about the cameras that are like in here or in the high school or any other place, those are typically paid for as part of the construction budget. Is that what you were asking about? I couldn't hear you quite distinctly.
Yeah, like we have the Smack Studio. Then we
Right,
also have,
that's Smacks, but if you're talking about the cameras that are like probably cameras that are down in the, you have them in the train station?
Not yet. When we
Not yet,
cover,
but I'm assuming you're gonna put some in.
we will.
Yeah,
Under
but that wouldn't
the,
be part of SMAC. We just put them in as part of the elementary school budget. It's gonna be part of the high school budget, the library budget. Cameras just go in and we pay for it that way, and then SMAC uses them.
So the cameras in this building are owned by the town, not SMAC.
That's
The
correct.
cameras that go around, that people take around town to film events are owned by SMAC?
I'm sorry, the cameras, everything at the studio is owned by SMAC, yes.
Right,
And
but-
the equipment in this room is owned by SMAC.
Right, so the equipment in there is owned by SMAC, but these cameras up here are owned by the town.
That was done with the renovation in here.
Right.
But I suppose.
I mean, in case anyone's, and then the cameras that people take around and go film things are owned by SMAC, and anything that SMAC is lending out to people to do. Any other questions from members of the committee? Any questions, comments from members of the audience? Natasha, come on up.
Maybe more of educational, but since the enterprise fund will be dissolved and it won't be a budget, does that mean that the town will start to incur a cost from SMAC now that we're separated?
I suspect all of that would be outlined in the contract once it's all ratified. So I'm not sure how much of an answer we could get now, but I would expect, and I have no reason to doubt our town's legal counsel that the contract will clearly define everything so that hopefully we can avoid some of this confusion in the future.
that we can speak to, Madam Chair.
Okay,
We get, round numbers, Steve, $45,000, $50,000 a month. Yes, we get approximately $45,000 or $50,000 a month between the two providers. That gets transferred through us dollar for dollar to SMAC. Whatever that number is, they get 100% of it. So there's no expenses from SMAC to us, but there's revenue that flows from the cable provider, the communications people, Verizon, if you will, and Comcast through us to them with no fees either way.
so I guess this is my question based on that, and I'm just curious, I'm not sure you'll be able to answer it. So as I understand, the goal is like next year as we dissolve the plan is that SMAC will be clearly independent, and so we will not be approving their budgets.
Correct.
But would there be a budget item somewhere to reflect the payment out?
We have to, yes. It'll be Heidi's area. We'll have a statement that will reflect 100% of the revenues coming in and 100% of those revenues going out to SMAC.
And can we expect where we will see that in the budget next year?
It'll be a SMAC line item,
So,
purely pass through.
okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions, comments? All right, not hearing any, we are going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Article 3. Why not Article 9? Oh, I guess we could do Article 9. I just was going in order, order of articles. Article 9 is the Cable Enterprise Fund, so I think that would be appropriate. So if you guys want to come back up. What? Right, but this is all right, but this is an article, this is the article to withdraw retained earnings.
That's
Oh, that's
36.
36. Okay. All right. So Article 9 is the same thing as what we just talked about. It's the, because it was an enterprise fund, it has its own budget and it was listed in both places. If we could bring up for Article 36 while we're on SMAC, which is SMAC expenses. And for people who may not have the articles in front of them, Article 36 is, of course, I'm in a zoning thing, so I'm going on for out pages. I apologize. Yes, thank you. I'm seeing as like zoning article with like 5 pages of zoning stuff. All right, so the article is for people of interest. It is that the town, just ask the town to vote to transfer and appropriate from available funds in their enterprise account to pay certain legal expenses incurred and otherwise not otherwise included in their ongoing budget in the cable acts. All right, they're asking to take money out of the enterprise account to pay for some legal fees. All right, these legal fees were not included in their current budget, so that's why they're doing this as a separate article. And it's from their money, which is retained earnings, just like we have retained earnings in water and sewer.
And Madam Chair, this is a typical transfer that the town does all the time. The difference is that it's an enterprise fund, so we need town meeting approval to transfer it. Anything from retained earnings.
Right. Joel, then Arnie.
I have an earlier version of the warrant. Do you have a dollar amount in your version?
No.
Do we have a dollar amount yet?
They're going to be transferring the retained earnings of approximately $185,000.
185,000? That's what you're
That's
asking.
correct.
Is this all of the retained earnings?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Which, as an operating entity, they have an absolute right to do. It just requires town meeting approval because it's an enterprise fund.
No, I understand that. Yeah. Okay. What happens if this doesn't pass?
It's like any action of town meeting. We have to go back to zero again, go back to step one and start all over again. At that point in time, we'll be able to discuss freely
why they're asking
why
for
it's
this.
necessary. And I think town meeting wants to put this thing behind us as much as we want to put this thing behind us.
Okay. Just asking the question.
Fair question.
No, yes, and it's because of the litigation status. Some of the
understand.
stuff can't be disclosed right now, but should be all set for town meeting.
Okay.
Arnie? Oh,
My question was answered.
thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Ian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In this budget that we just reviewed, we didn't see an increase in any salaries, or wasn't a percentage. But if memory serves me correctly, I haven't really seen a huge increase in the salaries for the people who actually work from SMAC. So, I mean, I just think it's an absolute travesty that we're draining the retained earnings while not paying the people who actually work for SMAC for something that's, from my perspective, seemed fairly trivial. So.
Okay. Laura?
So it sounds like there aren't a lot of things.
Can you please?
Yep, I
thank you.
can. Ooh, that's too close. There are some things I think that are premature to discuss because you can't disclose them at this time. But was there, and if you can't answer it, just say you can't answer it, but In terms of legal fees associated with some of the negotiations that have been happening, was there a consideration of including the legal
I
fees?
think that's would be something that we're not going to go into discussion, would be premature to go into discussion at this point. If we think about it and the public hearing is happening in 2 weeks, which presumably at that point,
You didn't even
the,
hear the rest of my question, though.
when we vote on this article after that, we can discuss all we want. But
Okay.
please,
Madam Chair, I think we are at liberty to say that taxpayers are not on the hook for either side's legal fees.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions, comments from members of the committee? Any questions or comments from members of the audience? Okay, not seeing any, thank you. We will move on to the next article. Which is Article 3, Funds for Town Roads.
Good evening. As you know, this article is a housekeeping article, just like the next two articles. Every year it's in the town meeting warrant. Essentially, it authorizes the selectmen to enter into the contracts and to accept funds for things like Chapter 90 funds and things of that nature.
Okay, so are there any questions from members of the committee on this article? Any questions from members of the audience on this article? Oh, Arnie, yes?
Hi. Can you hear me all right? Now you can. I just want a clarification on this. I thought we had appropriated on a yearly basis $2 million to do the roads over. Am I mixing this up with something else?
Yep, two different things. These would be to accept funds from the state. Allows the select board to accept funds from the state, such as Chapter 90 funds. Some of those funds are used to pave the roads you're talking about, but that's after.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments from members of the committee on this article? Any questions or comments from members of the audience on this article? Not seeing any, we'll go to the next article on the agenda, which is Article 4, accept federal and state funding. This article authorizes the town to accept any federal and state funding that we qualify for.
Yeah, you said it, Carolyn, right to the point. Another housekeeping article. Every year, this has been on the town meeting warrant. It's very similar to the article we just talked about. For example, if we get a grant through the state for a sidewalk or something like that, this article allows us to accept the funds and have the selectmen authorize the contract.
Okay, any questions from members of the committee on this article? Okay, go right ahead.
Mark, why do I have to do this every year? I mean, we do. I mean, since I've been on the finance committee, we've had the same articles. Why do we do it every year?
Joe, even if a resident left us a piece of land in their will, we can't accept it until it's passed by town meeting or by the selectmen for land, town meeting for money.
Can't you say to accept federal and state funding for the next 10 years?
No, because we can't bind future FinComs and future board members.
All right. I was just curious. Thank you.
I hate having to cover it every year, but I know.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Any questions or comments from members in the audience? Not seeing any, we move on to the next item, which is Article 5, disposal of town property.
Again, a housekeeping article. It's in the warrant every single year. This authorizes the selectmen treasurer, if they want to hold an auction, it authorizes them to actually hold the auction.
Any questions or comments? I know it seems ridiculous that we have to do some of these every year, but
At town meeting, Madam Chair, I know the moderator is considering putting all of these in a consent agenda.
yes.
So it's one. So it's one.
Yep, point.
I believe he's done that last couple of years, except then sometimes there's someone that objects to it, and then we have to have a discussion and vote. I don't know if it was on any of these or some others that were proposed for the consent agendas, but yes. Any members of the audience want to comment on this article? Other than as a town meeting member, we want consent, they would like this all in one consent agenda. All right, we will move on to the next item. We already did Article 9, so we are on now to Article 11, which is a collective bargaining agreement with the SPAEA, S-P-A-E-A union. And could you tell me what that actually stands for? Because I don't remember.
So I know the SP is the Stoughton Professional Staff, Professional Association of Employees. I'm not sure what the A is for, but the acronym is SPAEA. It's the engineers and the trained staff.
Stoughton Professional and Administrative Employee Union.
Right.
Thank you.
Dynamic duo. Madam Chair, this is it's a little more than housekeeping, but it's very simple to understand. Three components to this. We were able to negotiate some policy additions into their collectively bargained agreement. That's the town-wide vehicle policy was added in language and accepted by the union. The vacation carryover policy, which was codified this year and added into all CBAs. This was the first of which they were added into it. The financial pieces are cost of living adjustments, FY27, which is this year, coming before us right now, of 2.5% increase. Fiscal 28, 2.75% increase. Fiscal 29, 2.95% increase, bottom line. In terms of dollars, it's an increase for FY27 of $49,000, in 28 of $57,000, and in 29 of $40,500. That's the financial component to this. Very, very, very competitive contracts. All of our contracts are less than 3%.
Okay, could you just give an idea of what some of the positions that are in this contract are for those of us that may not exactly know?
Sure. The positions that have been added are the Public Wellness Safety Coordinator, the Public Service Coordinator, Assistant Assessor, Program Facilitator, Cost of COA Receptionist. This includes many of the people in Mark's department, the engineers, the project managers. Removed from this voting block are the Assistant Treasurer, the Cedar Hill Manager, the Town Accountant, the Registered Nurses, Assistant Director of Public Health, Program Administrator for the Police Department, and the Executive Assistant to the Town Manager. Most of them were removed because they're in positions of holding confidential information.
Did any of those other positions go into another union or association?
They were not in unions. They're going into this union.
All right, the ones that
FY27.
weren't in unions are coming in. The ones that are being removed, I understand some of them are confidential employees.
Right.
But some of them don't necessarily sound like it. So
by way of example, the town accountant clearly didn't belong in a union because of the information she's got access to. The assistant treasurer, same thing. Confidentiality is a big part of that. When you look at the registered nurses, they control HIPAA information every day. And many of them were in unions when they were in a junior position, never came out of the unions, but then when they entered into a management role, particularly roles where they hold confidential information, we bargain them out of the union.
okay. And I take it the workers, the members that are affected are all fine with this.
They're all fine. They all consented.
Becca?
I have a budgeting process question. So in FY27, I'm going to use round numbers, right? Let's say FY27 is a $50,000 increase, FY28 is a 60, and FY29 is a 60, right? Mm-hmm. So we've already gone through the departmental budgets. And those budgets, let's say, had a 2.5% increase. My first question is this agreement separate from those increases? Or do those increases include this?
427?
Yeah.
Yes.
So for 27, we looked at the budget and we said, okay, if we recommend and town meeting approves. So if it's a 2.5 increase across the board and it happens to hit the people who are in this union,
Correct.
this money is already being planned.
It's already budgeted. This was codified in December of 24.
Okay. So then the idea is that
Pardon me, December of 25.
December 25.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because we're in FY26, we're going into FY27. So then at this time next year, when we are in FY27 doing FY28, it's basically the same idea. You're already putting the money into the requested budget. It's the planned increases are already in there.
That's correct.
So even though it's a separate article, and I guess this is where my confusion is, it's a separate article, although the funds are already asked to be allocated in the upcoming budget.
Correct.
I guess I'm wondering why we do a separate
Because
article
the
then,
town meeting has to
To approve
approve
the
collective
contract.
bargaining contracts.
separately from approving the budget.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And in this case, where the money is already in the budgets, the motion will not contain any transfers.
That's right.
When we did a contract last year that we approved, we did have like part of the actual motion included transfers of money from like the human resources where the salary reserves were
That's right.
into the various departments that were covered. It was the DPW contract in the fall, if you remember. The motion would actually carry like, all right, we need to transfer like $50,000 from the human resources into the various departments to cover the cost of that. So it's built in there. Sometimes this one, because it was settled in time while they were putting together the budget, it was already built into the budget. So we're not going to have to do any transfers. We just have to vote to approve the contract. And that's all we'll be recommending.
We made an agreement with the FinCom, I think, Carolyn, 2 years ago, that if contracts weren't ratified and signed by both parties by December 31st, they would not be in the budget for the following year, but we would still accrue our estimates contained within inside human resources.
Right.
This was done by December 31st.
Yeah.
So we start our budget process. The first thing we do every year is load in contracts that have been agreed to for that year.
All right. Thank you.
I may add to that.
Sure, Mark.
The agreement also for this collective one is Article 11, and the budget is Article 12. So in theory, we should be voting on the contract before we actually vote on the budget at town meeting, correct?
Right. That's correct.
So
In theory.
So in theory, so it would be all set.
I think that's why you hold off on the budgets till the end of this process,
Right.
which makes sense.
Okay.
Voting the budgets. But you're right, Mark.
Any other questions or comments on the budget? I did email you the actual memorandum agreement, so if you want to look at it. Any questions or comments from members of the audience on the union contract? Not seeing any, hearing any. We move on to the next article on the agenda. All right, this next one that's listed is Article 20, Fire Department Capital. We heard about this all last night. It's the same article. It was listed twice in order to make sure it's fully advertised for bond counsel in case borrowing is necessary. So if anyone here would like to speak on Article 20, where this is a public hearing, we'll bring it up. You feel free to come up and comment however you would like on Article 20, Fire Department Capital.
Madam Chair, we can call Mike and Jack back if you'd like.
Yes, I think we made them work for their money last night, so we'll give them a break, but
Do we want to move this to another night?
No.
or- Okay.
it's still open anyway, but I want to just make sure anyone has any, not seeing any, we'll move on to the next item. We did Article 36 already tonight. The next articles are under the special town meeting. We have the 3 articles: police, fire, and police station, police department capital, fire department capital, and police station feasibility study. Again, we heard the presentations and everything last night. If there's anyone here that would like to ask any questions or comments on those articles, you can come up and speak now, or this is a public hearing. Not seeing any. I am going to move on to our next item, which is a motion to continue the public hearings to Wednesday, March 18th. And I would entertain a motion to continue the annual and then a motion to continue the special. All right, so we have a motion made by Joel, seconded by Becca, to continue the public hearing on the annual town meeting to Wednesday, March 18th. All those it will be here. All of our hearing, yes, all of our hearings are going to be here other than that night. All those in favor of the motion to continue the annual, say aye. Raise your hands. All those opposed? Anyone abstain? Nope, that motion carries. Could I have a motion to entertain? I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the public hearing on the special town meeting for May 4th to continue the hearing to the date of Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here. All those in favor? I need the motion in the second first. Sorry. I'm just excited. All right. So, all right. Johnny made that motion. Who's seconding it? All right. Heidi seconded it. All those in favor of the motion to continue? Aye. All those opposed? And no one abstaining, please. All right. Both those motions carried. All right. Do we have any other business tonight? Not seeing any. I would love to entertain a motion to adjourn. All right. Joel made the motion. Dawn seconded it. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye. All those opposed can stay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you.